It sounds so much like Jesus. And so Love Does is more than just a phenomenally fun and whimsical read. It's a profound encouragement and challenge to let that love of God shape us in ways both conventional and unconventional. Bob tends to do most things unconventional, but even the conventional work when you listen to God. So with that, I want to say thank you to all of you for being here, and we're going to have some music following when Bob speaks, but I want to say, Bob, thank you for being a dear brother in Christ and a friend, and for speaking to us tonight. Would you welcome Bob Goff?
I don't know. Can you guys see me here, or do you want me to stand there? Okay, 1 second. Wow, this is going to be awesome. Okay, here we go. Is that a little better? Okay, great. Hey, thanks you guys. Thanks for letting me come. And there's just something beautiful about being together. And Steve, and he was a guy when I was in high school, probably one of the first people who didn't see me the way I used to be, but he saw me for who I was turning into. And I think that's why people come to this church, because they feel not just invited. I think we ought to lose this idea of inviting people to church. I think we ought to welcome them, right? Because have you ever been invited somewhere you weren't welcome? It happens to me. That's just Tuesday for me. But so that idea, I think that happened in high school, and the whole idea of Jesus was communicated by people who welcomed other people, right? It wasn't just inviting them to an idea. And people don't want to meet a bunch of information. They want to meet you, right? And when they meet you, they feel like they've met heaven. That's the beautiful part. So these guys in this group in the morning have shaped me as well in the way that I see myself, see the way I'm becoming as a father, as a husband. That's changed. I had a big week 2 weeks ago, and I went to my first professional baseball game ever in my whole life. There was a Padres game, and they had somebody doing rap. That wasn't me. And then I was supposed to say something afterwards, right? So they said, do you want to throw the first pitch? And I'm like, yes. And then I thought for a second, number one, I'm going to hit somebody up in the stands. But I was also thinking, you know what? Would it be okay if my son did that? Because how many of you are parents? You know, if somebody wants to do something awesome for you, they do it for your kids, right? Because I got 2 of everything I want. I got 3 a bunch of things I don't want any of. I'm just saying, I just have got this idea, and I think I've learned it from men like Steve and others, that if you want to do something great for God, you do it for his kids. And that's what's happening here. So one of the other things they gave us with this afternoon at the ballpark, they just didn't give us seats. They gave us this room. And so we were like a BB in a shoebox. I didn't know. I'm like, there's a room? So what we did is we went up into the bleachers in the farthest corners, and we just found little families, the husband, the wife, the kids. And I walked up to the first one and I said, you guys, I have a suite here. Do you want to come down and see it? And they looked terrified. They were going to call the police. And I realized, well, that's kind of creepy. So let me back up. Don't be creeped out. What if you do this? Come downstairs and just stand at the door and look inside. And you decide once you look inside whether you want to come in. And you know what? When they came down, they looked inside, and you know who they saw? A family, like you guys. And they were like, I think that's what people want. They just want to know when they look inside, they just see you. They don't need information. They meet Jesus, right? Because it's humble people. I live by the bay, and apparently a bunch of people know where I live because they come by on their boats, and you know what's creepy? They talk about me, and they don't realize I can hear them. Because their voices travel over the water. It's nuts. I'm like, oh my gosh. And here's the deal that I've learned from a lot of you that are here tonight, that humble voices travel further, right? That's who you want to be. Humble voices, so keep being that. And I love that you talk about this as a story that's unfolding. And you know what's crazy? Having misspelled quite a few words in a row, I've learned this, that you're really eager to call whatever you're writing presently, come up with a chapter heading for it. And I think that some of our best chapter titles come much later, right? So 10 years later, I bet you guys could name some of these chapters. So don't be so eager to name the next chapter for this story that you're writing together. I teach at Pepperdine Law School. Can you imagine that? Me and a law, I'm like, everybody passes the bar. So I teach a class on success and failure. All I do is bring people who've screwed up in front of everybody, right? Because I don't want these young lawyers to think they're winners because they won a case or they're losers because they lost a case. So everybody I bring in just messed up. It's actually a requirement to be my friend. You have to have screwed up or we won't have anything in common. And if you teach at Pepperdine, they say you have to have office hours, but they don't say where. So I have mine on Tom Sawyer Island at Disneyland. I'm not kidding. I tell the students on the first day of class, if you got a question and $65, come and see me. And I go there every Wednesday. I'm in the country. I'm at Disneyland from 10 to 2. Come and see me. I'm just like sitting right across from the pirate ship. I love this place. I don't go on the rides. I just love being there. There's something beautiful about it. And I got this. Have you guys ever, you remember the castle at Disneyland? I got the plans to it. I'm giving them to you, Steve. This is the plans. Here, I sit there for a second. Here's the deal, you guys. These guys built a castle, right? You guys are building a kingdom. Big difference, right? Castles have walls and they keep people out, right? Kingdoms have these borders and they just let people in. Castles have moats, right? Because they want to like protect themselves. And kingdoms have rivers, like living rivers, and they say, everybody come in. Castles have dungeons where they keep people who messed up. And kingdoms have grace. Oh, castles have archers in the tower. And kingdoms just have you. Like, you guys keep building a kingdom. You know, when Walt Disney visited, it was unannounced. He visited the Magic Kingdom. It was just getting built. And they found out he was going to be there in an hour. And they had the top of the castle off for repairs. They were working on it. So they got a crane and they put it back in a big hurry. They put it on backwards. Isn't that awesome? I've got the plans. I know. So, and you know what? Walt Disney got there and he said, I like it better. Oh, you guys, when you mess up, when you write that chapter, when you come, it's just preparation to teach in my class. When you mess up, just think, Jesus kind of likes it better so long as you're getting more close to him, right? Some of you mess up and you're like calling yourselves all these names under your breath, right? You just say like, I'm that guy, I'm that gal. And you know what Jesus calls you when you mess up the worst? Beloved. It's nuts. You think like beating yourself up every once in a while would be better than grace. And just, if you're not hearing the word beloved, it ain't Jesus doing the talking. Oh, you guys, use kingdom language with yourself. You're great about forgiving other people. I just want to encourage you, as you go into this next chapter, yet to be named, just be easy on yourself. And just think of this. I bought this place up in Canada, and there's like 4 teaspoons full of dirt on the whole place. It's all solid granite. So I decided I was going to build this big house on it. So we made all these plans. I mean, the plans were like a foot thick. And then we started blowing up the rock to fit the house. And that's the wrong way to do it. That's a really expensive way to build. Now what we do is we blow up the biggest flat spot we can make, and then we make the plans. So as you guys are thinking about the next steps in this beautiful family you call a church, make the biggest flat spot you can in your lives, right? Just a big target for some grace to land. Invite everybody if you want, but welcome everybody that messed up. People that feel like they just need to have a place to land because you're building a kingdom. When I asked Maria if she would marry me, I got down on one knee and I said, Maria, will you? And then I started crying. I'm like, rats. I'm emotionally incontinent. I just cry at everything. And she, you know what she did? She said, marry me. I'm like, what you said, right? You know what? Philippians 2. It's Philippians 2, and it said, God has begun a good work in you. Let him complete it. And you guys have started it. You're 10 years into this adventure. Let him continue to finish what he started. But don't make a castle. Continue to build a kingdom. Jeremiah 29, right? The plans I have for you are good ones. To prosper you, to grow you up closer to me. Isaiah says, stretch wide your tent poles. Loosen the cords, stretch the stakes. I mean, that's what I thought when I saw all these lights. I'm like, this is what you're doing. So, but we're not stretching them big to make a big castle because we want to make a huge, huge kingdom. And one that looks just like Jesus, where everybody's not invited, they're welcome. So thank you so much for letting us be part of this. Steve, there's a gift that the family here wants to give you. So can you come up, and I'm just going to present it on their behalf. I want to give you these plans to remind you to dream big as you're thinking about a kingdom. Come on up here. And these people who love you so much have given you this pen, and it is in Hebrew, and it's the prayer. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one God. It's in, who knows? It's in Arabic, so like, I don't know. So, who knows what it really says? But thank you. But as you are continuing to guide and lead the people here, just draw beautiful things in people's lives. Continue to draw hope and that idea of whimsy. Like, you have the best sense of humor, and God uses that in beautiful ways because it doesn't just disarm us, it reminds us of joy. And I think a lot of people thought Jesus was drunk. I think he was just happy, right? So thank you for what you bring to this community right here, but this kingdom that spreads out in every direction from here. So thank you. Thank you, you guys.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you very much.